Hi guys, welcome to Enigma Disc Golf. My name is Adam. If you don't know me, I am a disc golfer here around the Quincy, Illinois area and do a lot of the MA2 and MA1 play. I just wanted to introduce myself and make this video to kind of introduce the channel and introduce you guys to my bag, hopefully, for the rest of the 2024 season, allowing me to, at the end of it, I will be playing the NADGT event in Texas. So hopefully you guys can join me on that. But just a little bit about myself. I am 28 years old. I am autistic. So if you see a lot of the weird mannerisms in the video, you can chalk it up to the inability to deal with people. But I'm an autistic disc golfer. Currently, I'm sponsored by Silly Goose Disc Golf. You can see the hat. I'll be leaving a link in the description to to the shop. Anything helps, especially when it comes to the area around us. Kyle is the guy who runs it. He's an amazing dude when it comes to wanting to grow the sport, especially in the Quincy, Illinois, Hannibal, Missouri area. Dude's awesome. The designs are super cool. The amount of support always helps him grow that side, and then also helps me when it comes to just getting stuff and making sure we got the tournament and just having fun with disc golf. So without further ado, we're gonna get into the bag. We have two putters in my top slot. They are both Muses by Thought Space Athletics. You have not tried an amazing putter until you tried one of these. These things are money. Every single time, they're amazing. They have a very good amount of depth to them, allowing you to do any sort of grip. My putting is kind of like this, with sometimes the pinky inside. So it allows me to snap them pretty good with it having a three speed, I believe 3 glide, and 02 or 03 when it comes to stability. It doesn't genuinely matter. It's a putter. Whatever feels good, you should putt with. But it's got the depth of an AVR, kind of comes in on just a curved slope, so it doesn't have that shelf that the AVR has, but still gets there. You go in for circle 2, just pop it, spin it, it goes. But that is in the UV Nerve plastic. It glowed for a little bit of time, but honestly doesn't glow for that long. So when you buy one, remember or understand that it's not going to glow forever. Switch to that violet, kind of nice purple color for a little bit, and now it's stayed in this kind of whitish, beat up plastic. Again, wish it glow for a little bit longer, but I'm still not disappointed in the flight of the disc. For my upshots, I don't use my putting putter. I use the second run Nerve Muse. Still about the same thing. These are a hit and stick disc. You can throw this thing at 150, 200 feet, and it'll just go straight forever. You got to make sure to hit your line correctly, or it's just going to kind of turn over a little bit and just keep going straight. Amazing disc. Love anything that comes out of Thought Space so far. Super impressed about what the company's doing. So moving on to still about the same slot, I have two upshot discs, or what would be called approach discs. They're both very different. We're going to start with the slower of the two. We have the Nerve Temple. The Temple is a disc that's a whole lot like a Zone, but it is definitely shallower, so you can get a good power grip in it and kind of just whip it. I have switched from Zones to Temples because these, I feel like, are way more consistent when it comes from run to run, and also feel better when on my upshots I use a one finger method. So you just kind of flick one finger when it comes to it so it doesn't turn over, and these have been consistently amazing through and through. Disc. You're shooting it about anything that doesn't get a Muse. So off the tee, my throwing putter is the Rebirth Envy. These things came out and I was kind of skeptical because I already had a Envy in my bag, but once I was finally able to grab one of these things are amazing. They are stable when they want to be, and they are straight when you want them to be straight. You can bomb these things 350 on a good day, and it's going. It's getting wherever you point it to. It's got amazing grip. I love the plastic. I'm a huge fan of Eagle McMahon, so whenever you can get the chance to grab one of these, I think anybody should grab them. Rebirth, man. Rebirths are amazing. So now moving on to mids. I hold a lot of mids. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mids. Ugh. So mainly mids when it comes off the tee. Understandably, it's a different thing than most people do, but mids are my go-to when it comes to consistent distance and when it comes to just a disc that feels the most comfortable for me. We'll go understable to overstable. So the most understable I have is the Anubis, the Infinite Discs Anubis. So I have 2 of them, one in the iBlend plastic, one in the Splatter Star plastic. Both money. They are 5500. The iBlend plastic, I have an X out version right here. Love it, super cool. It will go straight forever with just a little bit of turn to it. It won't usually fade out unless you give it some hyzer, unless you're coming at it with a solid hyzer angle. It'll just go straight forever. You can put this thing on a rope line about 350 straight off the tee. I have done many shots with my Anubis just straight. The Splatter Star plastic is a little bit straighter when it comes to holding its stability, but both of them are amazing. I use them for big S-curve angles, and yeah, the Infinite Anubis, if you get the chance, try them out. They do not have a bead to them like most mids do, and feel a lot like the Muse, but flies farther. So those are my first, most understable. We're going to a little bit up in stability. I have a Glow Pathfinder. This is the kind of owl stamp. I'm a huge fan of anything Thought Space Athletics. Their stamps are amazing, and also their discs are consistently good. Pathfinders will go straight and have just a little bit of fade at the end. It's coming out on the overstable side. This has got some of it feels the most like a Buzz. So if you get a Buzz SS or a Buzz OS, that's probably what you're going to see with the Pathfinder. It is a fantastic disc for wood shots, for anything where you're like, oh, I can get there on a straight angle with a little bit of fade at the end, just allowing it to just sit. The Glow is the most overstable. I will switch in and out when it comes to plastics throughout the year, depending on the weather or depending on just how the tournament's going. I have everything from an Ethos to a just normal plastic when it comes to the ethereal. So Glow Pathfinder, you get the chance, money. They are money all day. Next up in stability is a new addition to the bag this year. I am trying a lot of Infinite Discs because I believe their runs are consistent and they're just awesome to deal with. Is the Raws. I have 2 of the Luster C blends. I think they're the most stable when it comes to it. The Luster C Raws. When you want something that's gonna go straight and just dump, I think the Raws are probably the best. 5402. They say 2.5. They probably fly more like an 02, especially when it comes to the Luster C. I will rarely ever throw this on sidearm. It's not really my go-to when it comes to that. None of these discs will ever really be thrown on sidearm when it comes to my mids. But the Raws, when you want to one step up from the Pathfinder, they are amazing. And they come consistently. I really like what Infinite does. I don't know if you can see this. When it comes to the run numbers, don't call me. That was my phone number. When it comes to the run numbers, between the two, these are both run number 6. They're my favorite runs so far when it comes to the Raws. I have 2 more in a bucket in my house. But yeah, They are amazing overstable. Last mid I have, a lot of people haven't tried out, but people who play with me have, is the Loft Silicon. Loft, I don't know how to pronounce it particularly well. Silicon. This disc is overstable, so you can take this on a flat angle and it's still coming out. You can kind of whip it on this and it'll still come out. It's probably one of my favorite to throw. I also really like their design when they tell you their run numbers, a lot like the periodic table of elements. It will tell you the 54003, sorry, covered it up, 03. This thing, I will throw sidearm, backhand. I want something to fade out and just dump. Silicon in the Alpha Solid plastic. This is the Founders Edition run. I was able to get one from a guy on Reddit. I was able to finally find one. I got 3 more in my house. But yeah, if you want an overstable disc and you're not a fan of the Rock 3, you're not a fan of the Gator 3, you're not a fan of most of when it comes to the other overstable discs out there, this has a very smooth rim, so it's very comfortable for sidearms, very comfortable for backhands, and it's super reliable when it comes to anything of the overstable shot you need. Love the Loft Silicon. So we're gonna move on to Fairway Drivers. I do not carry a lot of Fairway Drivers like I used to. I used to carry a bunch. I switched over to dealing with more mids, less fairways, and more controlled drivers. So we're gonna go understable to overstable. It's not a lot of difference when it comes to them. So my first disc when it comes to the most understable is the Centurion. I have it in Halo plastic here. Again, it's another X out. I've been liking the looks of the X outs, especially when it comes to pricing. The Centurion. This is 7511. This is dead straight. If I want anything like an FD run, or you're dealing with dead straight discs, a lot of what I used to throw was Discmania, so I know most of theirs. This thing is dead straight with a little bit of fade and some turn. You can blast this thing on 400 if you have just some play out there. The Centurion by Infinite Discs is amazing when you want something just controlled and straight. Woods golf, anything you want a little flippy and play, it's great. It'll stay on whatever line you throw it on. That is my most understable. So my only other fairway driver is the Votum by Thought Space Athletics. Votums are amazing. They're 7502. They're reliably overstable when you just kind of underspeed them. When you overspeed them, they are reliably straight. And then with the tiniest bit of fade, give it some hyzer, it'll go straight and just fade. I have 2 plastics here because I feel like the normal ethereal plastic, especially with this kind of Oni and then woman stamp, love the dual stamping. Again, Thought Space makes amazing stamps. Is a little bit on the understable side. This is the Nebula Ethereal. These things are more reliably overstable. I have not picked up an Ethos yet, which I'm gonna probably do soon to give it some more overstability when it comes to my sidearms. These things snap. They're great. Couldn't praise Thought Space Athletics enough for what they're doing when it comes to both their plastic and their stamps. Their stamps are gorgeous. But that is all of my fairways. We have a healthy stack of drivers. We're gonna still do, I'm gonna mix the drivers and controlled drivers because I think that honestly they're both the same. I don't see much of a difference when it comes to 10 speeds to 12 speeds, but I got a healthy stack. So we'll go with the slowest. We have a ethereal Omen. I used to throw Firebirds, but once I figured out the ethereal Omen flies the exact same with more comfort feel on sidearms, I had switched almost specifically to the Omen. The Omen is 9504 or 03, can't really remember currently. It is overstable. If you want something reliably overstable in your 9-speed slot, I would suggest look for the Omen. Especially an ethereal or ethos plastic, you can snap this thing on backhand with a little bit of cut, and it will come out and just dump. They are reliably that Firebird slot that everybody should be using in their bag, especially when it comes to out of wood shots, or just off the tee, you need something to go left immediately. Ethereal Omen, fantastic. Again, another beautiful, beautiful stamp by Thought Space Athletics. We have a trending theme with Thought Space Athletics when it comes to the mantra. I think everybody could either in pro or amateur can get that kind of 9-speed understable slot. 9.5 -2.1. This thing's flippy. So you can give this a good amount of hyzer. It's going to ride out, flip a little bit, and then end just flat. The mantra has been a fantastic addition to that understable slot in my bag when it comes to just big flex lines, or just I don't want to throw a sidearm today and I'm like just gonna flex something out, or something I want to put it on a hyzer, flip over a little bit and just fall. The mantra has been, especially in this Nebula ethereal plastic, is a little bit more overstable than normally the mantras. I have another one in Aura plastic that's pretty flippy. It does not like to go right at all, or it doesn't like to go left at all. It will go right all day. So you got to give it a good bit of hyzer. But this one I keep in my bag. I can't praise enough. These stamps are gorgeous. They also don't rub off like I've had to deal with a lot of other brands that have rubbed off pretty quickly. That understable 9-speed slot, beautiful. I have now, so this would be the last of my control drivers when it comes to the 10-speed. Again, staying on the same line of Thought Space Athletics, the Construct is one of the most amazing straight 10 speeds you'll ever get in your life. I have two of them here, one in the ethereal and one in the ethos plastic. The ethereal plastic, beautiful die, by the way, 10.501 or 2, 10.5 -1.2. It's an 0.1 stability, so it's not gonna be like really dumpy. This one especially, you could throw flat, it'll come out a little bit and just glide. I can get this thing on 400 feet on even the easiest angles. They are amazing. When you need something more controllable and you shouldn't be throwing destroyers, I think going to a Construct is probably one of the best things for very early disc golfers, and especially kids, slower arms. Anybody should be able to throw a Construct. Everybody should throw a Construct by Thought Space Athletics. This is the ethereal plastic. When you want something on the little more overstable side, this is my PD replacement. It is the Ethos Construct. Fantastic. Touch more overstable than the ethereal, but still both of them amazing when it comes to that controllable 10-speed slot. But yeah, the first start of my 12-speed slot, I have 6 Emperors. I have switched to almost specifically my only driver being an Emperor. They are beautiful. They are money drivers all day. I have 3 separate plastics here for different stabilities. We'll start with the least stable in the iBlend Emperor. I have 2 of them. Honestly, I just throw one. The second one's just for a second, just to make sure that if I do throw it in the woods and I can't find it, or throw it in the water, I always have a second one to back it up. But the iBlend Emperor, these things are your replacement. They should replace your driver all day. Everybody should switch to an Emperor. They are reliably straight. They are 12.5, -1, 2.5. I think these in the iBlend fly more like 0.0. They are flippy, so they'll come out on that angle, but if you give it hyzer, it'll go dead straight forever. I can put this thing on a rope 450 line and they will just reliably stay on that 450 line. Maybe play a little bit to the right, but honestly, they'll always finish great. I parked in one of my most recent Silly Goose tournaments. I parked a 410 hole, being the solo eagle on the entire tournament. That was the most amazing line you could put on one of these islands. 2 of them. So switching up, just one kick overstable is the Garrett girthy. I think these are the 2022s, maybe 2023s. The Garrett girthy swirly star emperors. This is my main driver. These things are amazing. Pretty straight when it comes out of stability. You can give them some hyzer, they'll definitely hyzer out, but they are beautiful. I have 2 of these kind of colorful ones. It's easier for me to see in the woods, especially when they're colorful. Amazing drivers. You can slap these on 5. I have my distance record is on these with 536 feet. They are amazing drivers. Will come out straight, maybe play a little bit right, but always finish left. You can snap these on a rope. I have 2 of them, mainly because just in case one gets lost. They're both about the same beat-in. And then my beefcakes. I have 2 of the Halo Emperors. So these are a lot like the Halo Destroyers, especially the Calvin Heinberg ones. You can snap these pretty reliably straight and they're going to finish left. You don't need to get them on hyzer. They're great for anti-hyzer flip routes. These are probably the most workable when it comes to all of my Emperors. The other ones will kind of stay on a rope line. They're kind of going to want to play left or right. These are not going to go right. Anytime you snap them, you can give them really big anhyzer lines and they're going to try to fight out almost immediately. I think really good for people who have 450 plus power. If you don't have it, I really should suggest you stay in the 10 category, but honestly, throw whatever you feel, man. Whatever feels the best for your hands. I am a big proponent of just throw it. But these are Halos. Amazing. They look beautiful. Love the pink and white. The most able to see when it comes to just walking up. They got these really cool dragons on them. They're X-outs. Beautiful discs. But that is all of the discs in my bag. Some things that are attached to it. I currently have the 24th slot in the Quincy Disc Golf Club. Got a good win in NAT last year. And the last thing, probably show you this, is I throw with a sleeve. I have a lot of arthritis problems, so I love to rep, due to the fact that I am autistic, I love to rep the Autistic brand and show people that even people with disabilities can still thrive in sports. I would love for anybody who feels like they need to just get outside and go get some energy out, go play some disc golf, man. It's amazing, relatively cheap. Love everything when it comes to it. I love to rep the autism. It's a big part of who I am as a person. But other than that, that is my in the bag. It's everything. I just have a grip EQ bag. It's been with me for a lot of years. I have a cart inside, is what it is. But thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate all of the love and support I've gotten so far when it comes to people around my community and people just online and everything else. You guys have been amazing. Make sure you look into Silly Goose Disc Golf. Kyle is an amazing dude, just like I said at the start. He's an amazing dude. He's trying to grow the sport. Just show him some love. I'll get the link down in the description. But other than that, that's been my in the bag. Thank you all for watching, and you all have a wonderful day.